everyone, I'm Greg Otter with FedScoop TV, and today we're at the Public Sector Innovation Summit, and I'm talking with Renee Wynn, the CIO of NASA. Renee, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, well, thank you for the invitation. It's a delight to be here.
To start off, talk to me about your top 3 priorities for this year.
My top 3 priorities being new to NASA, besides learning NASA, so we'll just make that the A. And then the 1, 2, 3 are, first, it's the people, getting to know the people, getting to know their capabilities, and getting to know how to inspire them to bring greatness to the organization and getting some things done. The second thing is called the Business Services Assessment, where NASA across the board said to IT, saying, please transform to change the way you do business, engage us more often. So it's a delight to have that opportunity, but it's a pretty big road, a pretty big journey that we are on here. And then the third thing, quite obviously, is cybersecurity and how do we protect what we are doing as we send more and more hardware out of this galaxy.
So with all of that going on, what technological innovation or even policy innovation do you see that's going to drive what you're doing in the next year?
Over the next year, it's going to be this transformation that I talked about. And so it's going to be policy, but it's also going to be the way that we do our business. And we're examining how we do things. We've reconfigured our governance process. We've reconfigured our roles and responsibilities within the IT. And this also includes the mission side of IT as well, all the way through to comms, the network, and operating that as a single unit instead of all the different centers around NASA operating it individually, which gives us, I think, going to give us greater protection and greater optimization of the dollars that we have. It'll also include end user work. It will finally include sort of some data center management as well, so we can capitalize better on the cloud opportunities at NASA. So it's a pretty big ask of us. The benefit of all of that is the fact that higher up in the agency as a whole is supporting our work in this one, which makes, I think, the whole effort a little bit easier, even though it's going to be a very complicated effort. And that work has already started. We got the approval of our plan the end of March, and so we are well in the middle of this one.
So there's so much innovation that goes on at NASA, clearly. How does your office help to bring it all together? Because there's just so much that goes on with rocket science and other aeronautics, and we're talking about aeronautics in space, and then there's the whole Earth science wing. So how does your office really innovate to bring all of that together?
I think the place where my office can help bring that together, because we can't be everywhere, anywhere, and it could be perceived by our missions if we were trying to be everywhere, that we would be trying to take control. And I don't want us to control, I want us to influence. So back to what do I think where we can make some inroads with it. I think there's a couple of places where we can do that. And one it is where the IT is commodity, like data centers, computers. Where can they buy that easily and get it on the network and have it function as they need to? So it's a procurement pick list, let's say. A thing that I think we need to be doing is bringing in a platform for sort of the basic data analytics and visualization. Across the agency, we're seeing gobs and gobs of data come in, and everybody should be able to look at data the way they need to, sort of beyond the Excel spreadsheet, go into the types of graphics that are gee whiz, a little bit more on the visualization. Right. So I think that's an area where we can bring a platform for the basics, the rocket scientists, the work that we do on modeling with weather, especially on the high performance computing. That needs to be a special set. Let them design their requirements, purchase with us in our knowledge of it, but I don't want to get in the middle of that one, and that's very specialized. But on the basics, that's where I think we can make a difference, and we can also drive down and optimize the cost on what we consider to be commodity IT. Or comedy IT.
It feels like that's intense.
It does.
So innovation, a lot of times it goes hand in hand with technology, but you can innovate in other areas.
Yes.
Where do you see that happening inside NASA? Is it workforce? Is it procurement? Is it both? Is it something else I didn't mention?
It's everywhere.
Okay.
So let's just focus on some specifics so folks can kind of follow along and not believe that this is all pie in the sky stuff. So first, it's the people. NASA, like every federal agency, is faced with a lot of constraints on our budget, and we really want to get to Mars and back. And so in order to do that, we have to take a look at our talent and make sure that we're capitalizing on our talent in a way that uses every bit of it. And so we need collaboration tools to allow scientists in Russia to work with the ones in China on similar issues, but do that in a secure way so that the information, we are collaborating appropriately, right? And when the information is ready to go public, then let us do it intentionally, not unintentionally through an incident or something like that. So that's one place that we can do the innovation is thinking about the collaboration and using the academic environment, our international partners, our partners in industry to start to solve those problems. And so what are the tools underneath that to support that in an appropriate manner? So that's the people part. And I talked a little bit about the tools already, which would be one example of the collaboration platform. And then you get into the procurement part is we need to make it easy for people to get what they want. Now, it doesn't mean that everything they want is what they ought to get. But we could have done some pre-work on a collaboration tool saying, well, if you're working on XYZ type science data, these collaboration tools are usually a little bit better than others because they can handle the capacity of scientific data or something like that, because that data can get pretty thick in terms of usage of it. And then thinking about, do we need to bring data to the people or do they need to go to the data? So those are other ways that we have to anticipate how to use those tools. So just quite on the surface, yes, there's people issues in this. There's obviously tools in terms of the right tools and easily accessible as well as safe to use, protective of our information. And finally, underneath that is procuring it in a way that makes it simple and easy for our users.
Very, very interesting stuff, and I know that you just joined up at NASA, so I'm excited to see how this all plays out for you.
You and me both.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
For all of our videos, check out our YouTube channel, and for more information, check out FedScoop.com. I'm Greg Otto. Thanks for watching.